go to this project. The first observation, first remark, it's under a big umbrella of technologies for sustainable development. It's very wide, but it cannot be something completely out. It cannot be nuclear engineering. It cannot be aerospace. Well, in aerospace, if you do something on reduction of carbon emission, could be, okay. But in some way, it must come under this umbrella. The consortium, we have 7 universities in Europe, and you are interested in that because these were, we are the coordinator in Milano, then we have the Czech Technical University in Prague, in the Czech Republic, la Politecnica de Madrid, mainly at the Politecnica de Madrid, la ETSI, l'Escuela Técnica Superior de Ingenieros Industriales. In Porto, la Universidade do Porto, Portugal. 3 grandes écoles in France, Centrale Supélec in Paris, École Centrale de Lille in the north of France, and École Centrale de Nantes in the west of France, sur la Loire, on the river, a very nice city. These are the European partners. Then you could also, well, later I will tell you about the South American partners because you will have to compete with them for the place. It is an Erasmus Mundus Section 2 program, and the part that you could be interested into is the study in Europe. Then I can tell you 70% of the financing is for South American or Latin American individuals coming to Europe, and maximum 30% for European individuals coming to South America, to Latin America. So that's good news for you. Please take this website because there you can find everything, all the information, and I will tell you around the end of April, maximum beginning of May, we will publish a last call for this project, and it will appear here. So begin to check around the end of April. It will remain open a couple of months, but then in particular when I will tell you about the procedures, will be very helpful to have Alessandra here telling you because she passed through that procedure. Again, the list of the European places, European institutions. Opportunities, what is it offering? Well, you can study in Europe as an undergraduate, as a master's student, as a PhD, and also as postdoc. For example, a young colleague is a postdoc here, and also academic and or administrative staff with different rules for each category, but these are the 5 categories. There are a lot of constraints of the percentage, but I don't bother you with it. What you get is a monthly scholarship. I will tell you how much. A travel ticket, completely paid by the program, insurance, and the coverage of tuition fees. So it's completely free. The bad news you will see will come when we see what remained. Otherwise, these are good news. These are the scholarships. So on the top of the ticket and insurance you have, if you are an undergraduate or a master student, 1,000 euros a month, 1,500 if you are a PhD, 1,800 if you are a postdoc, 2,500 if you are a professor, but professors are for only 1 month. It's limited to 1 month, the mobility of a professors. Eligibility. Here, I will be a little bit boring, but I have to be clear because not from your university, but from other universities, there were problems of application that couldn't be reviewed by in the substance because they were not eligible formally. There are 3 target groups. Target group 1 are nationals of Latin American countries, concerned with Lot 7, okay, but anyway, that are registered at a university of the consortium. In other words, in Colombia, you must come either from Uninorte or from Javeriana in Bogotá. Target group 1 is reserved in Colombia to these 2 universities. Target group 2, well, you can read what is written, but for Colombia has been completely used already. Are for students from other universities, different from these 2, but they were few grants and they have already been used. Target group 3, where we have something that left, are nationals of these countries, in particular Colombia, is called the vulnerable people. So, who are particularly vulnerable situation for social and political reasons, but to be documented. It is not sufficient to declare. You have to have a document showing that. So, either having a refugee status or asylum beneficiaries, or that it can be proved with a document that they have been the object of unjustified expulsions from university on racial, ethnic, religious, political, gender, or sexual inclination, and so on. Very difficult because that's very bad, but if one has been expelled from a university, it's difficult to have a document from that university saying that they did discrimination. Not so easy. A third party should have to declare, but it has to be proved. Or that's easier, they belong to an indigenous population targeted by a specific national policy. So far, the grants that we use for target group 3 were mainly of this kind. Important. Again, I repeat, here it has been put on a slide. If you are in that condition, you need an official statement proving the fellow condition. So, in case you may contact the co-coordinator. So I am a coordinator, but we have a co-coordinator in South America who is an expert of these things. And you can write there in Rio de Janeiro. Is Vitor Amaral, a good friend of mine. If he doesn't answer sufficiently well, you can write to the Sustain team in Milano, where we are controlling everything. But he should be more knowledgeable than us, being a South American. So he knows better for specific cases. He knows better whether a document is official or not here in South America. Here are some examples of target group 3 to understand what it means. For example, this is a valid example. A Colombian, so a document written by a Capitan Manor stating that is a ZENU. In that case, with that document, that it happened. The document he uploaded states that he belongs to a specific population that is protected in Colombia, and so the student was eligible and was admitted. But there are examples where they have been rejected. So, a document issued by social services stating the difficult situation of his family and demonstrating he is eligible to economic assistance from government. That's not the vulnerability. The economic vulnerability is not considered by, it's not our rules, it's the rules of the European Commission that are the financer. We had to sign a contract with them when we won this contract. So we have to respect the rules of the game. The rules of the game is that this kind of document is not valid, not considered vulnerable population. Other case of invalid. Provide a document stating that she is an Afro-Colombian student and eligible to economic assistance from the government, thus figuring a status of economic vulnerability. Again, is not, we had doubts in that case. We sent it to Brussels and the answer was that one, that is not belonging to a protected community. So they didn't accept. And the student cannot be considered a target group 3 student. These are examples. In the offices in Milano, they got in 2 calls a lot of experience. Maybe that there are cases that are still not clear. In that case, we have to request an answer by Brussels, by the European Commission. That is the financing body. Our case of invalid. A Paraguayan sustained candidate writes to inform us that he had been, this was very complicated, that he had been expelled by his home university in Chile for unjustified reason, aggression by a teacher during exam session, and later reintegrated with a very low grade on the academic exam. This could be a valid reason. The fact is that the student was not able to provide a document showing that this happened. We were waiting for that. We are still waiting. That we can put it in the 3rd call, but we need a document. Summarizing. These are the bad news. What is still available for Colombians? Let us recall that there is, I didn't tell you before, there is a distinction in South America between Group A and Group B of countries. Group A countries are privileged by the European Commission because it's helping them to development. Unfortunately for you, you are not in Group A. You are considered already sufficiently developed in Colombia. You see, this is the list of the 13 Latin American institutions, and in red you see the institution and the countries of the Group A, which are Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Paraguay. There are still a considerable number of grants for them, but unfortunately not for Group B. They have been, but there are many because they were not used in the first 2 calls, because they were a little bit sleeping in the first 2 calls. While you have been so good that the majority of the grants have already gone. So, what is available for the next call, the one that will come out end of April or beginning of May? I remember. The countries are Argentina, Brazil, Colombia, Panama. The Group B in our project. So you have to compete with Argentinian, Brazilian, and Panamanian. For target group 1, so for people coming from this specific university, there is only one, possibly I am asking the European Commission to move some grants that were not used, so to arrive to 2 postdoc mobility of 10 months each. Many were used by this university already. Target group 2, you are not interested because it's for students not from Uninorte or Javeriana, 0. Everything has been used by others. There was a limited number. Everything has been used in the 2 first calls. What we have is for target group 3, we have 2 master mobilities for 6 months, 1 PhD mobility for 11 months, 1 postdoc mobility for 10 months. These, unfortunately, are the grants that remain. If some of you is quite young and can wait for 1 year or 2, not in this project, because this will be the last call of this project. I can anticipate that I am working to ask other projects to have more grants, probably not as big as this one, because these kind of projects don't exist anymore. We won in the last call for this kind of project, which was very competitive.
I want to ask, is this scholarship is just that come from Politecnico de Milano or from all the universities?
No, these are for students coming from Colombia and going to Europe. They can go to either to Politecnico di Milano or any of the other European universities. They can go. Yes. And no, you can have someone of target group 3 coming from here. Because many already went. They were used. Not because there are not, because they were used.
For the last call on April.
The last call will come out every April, will be open at least for 2 months, and is to leave next year, to come to Europe next year. The selection will be final in late autumn of this year. So you will be notified in autumn. About the procedure. Again, you will find the application on this website. The first call, as I already told you, will come out April, May. And there will be a merit-based selective process. I will try, I can tell you that look again, because I will try the most to move some grant from one group to the other, but I am almost sure that I will receive a negative answer. I will try my best, but I am not confident in that. How to apply? And here, please, Alessandra, if you come, what she had to do. Well, it's a little bit different. Transcript of records for undergraduate, master, PhD. Certificates, a bachelor degree to come for a master, master degree to come for a doctorate, PhD degree to be a postdoc. So you have to apply already having a PhD to be a postdoc like her. For undergraduate and master mobility, a learning agreement signed by home institution so that they accept what you will do in Europe. For doctorate, postdoc staff, a work plan. She had to do a work plan. Documents to be uploaded, document of activity for the staff, language certificate for undergrad, master, doctorate, postdoc, recommendation letter of your professors, motivation letter, pre-acceptance letter, and only for architecture or urban planning, you need a portfolio. And for TG3, the proof of social political vulnerability. Please give some suggestions or...
Bueno, para empezar, les cuento que para mí ha sido una experiencia muy interesante y si ustedes puedan tener esa beca, pues será una experiencia muy útil para ustedes, para vuestra carrera, pero si tampoco pueden conseguir esa beca, pues que apliquen y que se interesen a otras posibilidades, porque es algo muy útil y seguramente positivo como experiencia y para su formación.
And I can tell you also that if you don't apply for this project, but for the exchanges we have between Politecnico di Milano and Uninorte, there are not the becas. There is no, but we do the fee waiver. So you don't have to pay in Milano any tax. We cancel all the tax that usual students have to pay. The fees is free if under the agreement. In that case, you have to be selected by your university. Uninorte is selecting the student to send us in the double degree.
En este caso, esa beca es muy buena porque le pagan el viaje y le dan un salario mensual. Entonces con eso pueden cubrir todos sus gastos y no pagar los impuestos de la universidad y todo eso. Y nada, el proceso es bastante sencillo. Todo se puede hacer en la página web. Subir los documentos indicados, establecer un proyecto de investigación, si es un doctorado hacia arriba o un proyecto de estudios entre la universidad de origen y la universidad de destino. Y en un par de meses, como un mes y medio desde que se cierra la posibilidad de aplicar, salen los resultados y después toda la organización central se ocupa de todo, de organizar el viaje, la universidad de donde van se ocupa de encontrarle el alojamiento y todo va a ser organizado para la oficina dedicada a eso. Entonces es muy sencillo la movilidad.
¿Qué idiomas son los programas de la
Bueno, depende de la universidad.
Politécnico de Milán?
Politécnico de Milán, la mayoría ya son en inglés.
Almost all the... no, we have to distinguish. At the undergraduate, we teach in Italian. At the graduate, master or PhD, we teach in English.
¿Qué nivel de italiano? ¿Cómo? Para aplicar.
No se necesita.
No se necesita. And you are young, you speak Spanish. At your age, learning Italian is so easy. The two languages are very, very close. You will follow courses in English if you want, But for you, if you stay with Italian people, you don't have to stay with Spanish-speaking people when you are there. You stay with Italians, and in 15 days you speak a good Italian at your age.
Dependiendo de su carrera, tendrán unas posibilidades. No es que todo el mundo pueda andar en todo, dependiendo de su carrera, dependiendo de si es undergraduate, graduate, PhD, dependiendo de esas características, tendrán unos posibles destinos entre los cuales elegir. Y dependiendo de eso, hay unas universidades que requieren una certificación del idioma y otras que no. Por ejemplo, yo para venir aquí no necesitaba una certificación.
La página sí está, o sea, puede aplicar a la beca en cualquier momento o tiene unos tiempos estipulados, unos meses.
Hay
Yes.
unos meses entre los cuales uno puede...
In the call, there will be specified the deadline. You will find the deadline in the call.
Al momento no está abierto.
No.
Al momento no está abierto.
No, no,
que están pendientes porque...
I tell you why it is not open. Because for every call we have to ask and to wait to receive from all the 20 universities the academic offer. So each university will have to say, in this field we are offering that. So you will find on the web, in this university I can go to do that. In this university I can go to do that. Is offered just for sustained students.
Yes.
But we are waiting to receive all the documents.
Es muy sencillo, en la página web automáticamente ustedes dicen estoy haciendo una maestría en ingeniería civil, voy de Sudamérica a Europa y les salen la posibilidad.
Solo puede ser, o sea, si yo estoy haciendo el pregrado, no puedo.
Sí, también.
Y los documentos necesarios están en la página.
Usted entra y dice, voy de Sudamérica a Europa, soy undergraduate, estudio enfermería y de ahí le salen las posibilidades. Las universidades que tienen un convenio y que hacen donde puede ir a estudiar.
Good afternoon, Mr. Spinelli. I got two main questions. You have said or mentioned that there is this partnership between Universidad Norte and Politécnico di Milano.
Yes.
You have mentioned too that I can do an internship if I'm doing an undergraduate program or a master program. I can do an internship without applying to the Sustain T program.
I will show you a diagram that I showed this morning about that. The diagram tells much more than words. In the meantime, you can ask another question. Okay. So what I explained this morning is that this is the Italian educational system, a little bit different than yours. You start, first thing in Italy, we have 13 years of education before entering university, 1 year more than here. Then we have, since we have 1 year more there, we have a bachelor in 3 years, then a Master of Science in 2 years, and then a PhD in at least 3 years. Forget the rest that I show you. These are vocational projects, but not in the agreement between our two universities. Okay, keeping in mind the main track, 3 plus 2 plus 3, we have two possibilities. One, you do 4 years here, and then you enter in our last year of undergraduate studies, and you get at the end of it your titolo professional and our laurea triennale, which is our bachelor, in only 1 year in Milano. That's one possibility. The second opportunity is like that. You do 4 years here, then you come to the Politecnico. Instead of doing this year, you enter our master, but you stay for 2 years. 2 full years at the Politecnico, following all the exams as our student, and at the end of it, so you spare 1 year here, but you get titolo professional della Uninorte e laurea magistrale, Master of Science of the Politecnico di Milano. These are the two schemes that have been officially signed between our 2 universities. So.
But the first question is, taking this like in advance and not taking the scholarship, how a student from Universidad del Norte go there and have like the money to sustain himself?
That's a problem.
I mean, there is the possibility
No,
to
there are
work in
no grants, but you don't have to pay anything with us. Usually our students pay cheap, but they have to pay 3,600 euros a year. You for the 2 years, you don't pay anything of that. You have to maintain yourself to pay for your living. That's true. And you have to apply here. We have a limited number of positions there, and the selection will be done here. We completely trust the selection done by Uninorte, like they completely trust the selection done by Politecnico di Milano when we are sending them students.
Okay, that there is the possibility to work in the university, so
A limited there is, something there is. It's difficult to know in advance. Again, there is a system which is the 150 hours in 1 year paid for. You have to compete. It's not very difficult, not given for granted. So don't rely completely on that. It's not very difficult, but don't rely completely because you could be beaten by another one. It's competitive.
Okay, and the second question is, actually I'm like master student. I'm doing a master here.
Already.
Already, yes, in mechanical engineering, and I want to like perform part of the master in Politecnico di Milano, but in automotive design. I know it's
In which field?
automotive design, but I know it's taught in Italian. But I don't know if there is a chance to.
You have to ask. It's a decision to be taken here. If they, because we have with many universities, we have a possibility of doing 1 year of master at the home university and 2 years at the host and receiving the 2 masters. So far, we didn't sign such an agreement. Usually, it's our preferred agreement. So you have to ask. This evening, I will tell Dean Paes that there is a request like that. If he agrees that we should have to go through the signing of an agreement between the 2 universities. On our side, I am open to that. I don't know whether he would agree to add this kind of agreement.
But having acknowledged that the master course is in Italian, there is
No, the master course are 92% of the courses are in English already. And we are trying to convert 100% master course to English. We have a problem which at the moment is even, it arrived at the constitutional court because there is a minority of professors that don't agree, only 10%. But 90% agrees, and we already decided to switch 100% to English at the master level, 100% Italian at the bachelor level. But there is still a fight, but 92% of the programs are already in English. The problem is whether we are permitted or not to do 100%. That's the problem.
Profesor,
are these agreements for all programs, or it's just for specific programs?
No, I didn't.
Like the agreements of studying, for example, 4 years in Uninorte and then 2 in Politecnico de Milano.
These are already signed.
Yes, but for example, is that program available, or is that agreement available for architecture, or it's just for certain like specific?
For architecture, we can do. For design, not yet.
So for architecture, it doesn't.
Because here architecture is under engineering.
No, it's architecture.
Is a program of engineering. In our case, is in a separate school. But we can do.
In the undergraduate level, it is just in Italy.
At the bachelor level is in Italian. But you are mother tongue Spanish, so it's easy. The two languages are very close.
So we gotta have the certificate of the language.
No.
No.
We trust that you have a minimum of Italian to survive the first days. Then it's easy. But if you speak slowly in Spanish, everyone will understand you. The passive knowledge. I tell you, for example, my example. Many years ago, I went to give a corso de postgrado in Venezuela, 30 years ago more. And I never studied the grammar, but there I work with these people. I have problems in speaking because I don't practice. I have problems with the verbs. But understanding when you speak, if you don't speak too quickly, I understand everything. For example, in these days, at the conferences, I understood absolutely everything. And I never studied the grammar. The two languages are really close.
I want to ask you for a recommendation. If I want to apply to a master in Politecnico de Madrid that is in Spanish, in which language I should fill my application? In Spanish?
You have to upload these.
I think that they put the option to apply on Spanish or in English. What is the recommendation?
No, but here for Sustain T, it's better that you apply in English. But then for all the correspondence with Madrid, obviously you correspond in Spanish.
I'm Colombian, but I am a resident of Argentina, and I'm studying Argentina, and my degree will be from Argentina. Is there any inconvenience you might want to
I don't
apply for
understand anything.
scholarship in Politecnico in Milan?
I didn't hear. No, we didn't hear.
I'm Colombian, but I'm resident in Argentina, and so I'm studying Argentina. My degree, when I graduate, will be from Argentina. Is there any inconvenience that I want to apply for a scholarship to?
But are you a postdoc? No, there is only one place. There is only, or you are target 3, or you are a postdoc, otherwise there are no places for Colombian and Argentinian, because also Argentina is in group B. Unfortunately, we have plenty of grants for group A for those 4 countries. If you told me I am an Ecuadorian, very good, ready. Because they didn't use, not because there are more grants for that, because they didn't use them in the first 2 calls. So in practice, what I am saying is there is almost nothing if you are not in target group 3. You have to think to the other opportunities that I told you of the double degrees. Or if you are sufficiently young, you are not at the end of your courses, something else will come out next year. We hope so. What I promise is that I will apply. Then we hope to win. But if you look on the site, on the website, you find a lot of information. And if something is not clear, you send a message and we will answer you by email. We have a lady who is full-time on this project, so she will answer you soon. Is there here someone who is close to getting his PhD? No. So you have to tell your PhD of that opportunity. And if you know people of target group 3, please tell them that there are opportunities still. And for the double degree, you go to your international office, they know everything. Because as I told you, it's now some years that we are doing this double PhD. Well, double PhD, sorry, double master. Okay.